Coming up on One Detroit, a $500,000 infusion to the arts and culture community in Southeast Michigan. Plus,
and I'd follow you anywhere.
The online quarantine interludes of journalist and musician Devin Scillian. Also coming up, brutally honest storytelling by Detroiter Shannon Cason. And then finally, the music of Kresge fellow Alex Way. I'm Christy McDonald. It is all about arts and culture, and One Detroit is coming up.
Support for this program provided by W.K. Kellogg Foundation, a partner with communities where children come first. The Cynthia and Etzel Ford Fund for Journalism at Detroit Public TV.
From Delta Faucets to Behr Paint, MASCO Corporation is proud to deliver products that enhance the way consumers all over the world experience and enjoy their living spaces. MASCO, serving Michigan communities since 1929. The DTE Foundation is a proud sponsor of Detroit Public TV, among the state's largest foundations committed to Michigan-focused giving. We support organizations that are doing exceptional work in our state. Visit dtefoundation.com to learn more.
Business Leaders for Michigan, dedicated to making Michigan a top 10 state for jobs, personal income, and a healthy economy. And thank you to these supporters. And viewers like you.
Hi there, and welcome to One Detroit. I'm Christy McDonald. Happy to have you with us. Hope you're having a great week and that you are staying healthy. We're focusing on arts and culture in our region in the wake of COVID-19 tonight, giving you a chance to enjoy some great performances and really see how the arts community is coming together to help support one another during this time. Coming up on One Detroit, the pandemic in pictures. Spend a day with one local photographer. Plus, from TV news to music, Devin Scillian's online quarantine interludes. Then you'll meet Shannon Cason and see the art of brutally honest storytelling. And finally, the music of Alex Way. But first, giving arts and culture a boost. CultureSource and the Community Foundation for Southeast Michigan are partnering up along with funders to give away an estimated $500,000 starting in mid-May. They're going through the applications right now from all the arts and cultures organizations who've applied. CultureSource's Omari Rush gets us up to speed. So talk a little bit about what CultureSource does in connecting the arts and culture community and the nonprofits who are working in our area.
So CultureSource is a regional association of arts and culture nonprofits. We have about 160 organizations that are dues-paying members. We've moved to a pay-what-you-can membership dues model now. You know, they go from the largest to the smallest organizations in the region. You know, the Detroit Institute of Arts, the Henry Ford, Arts and Scraps, Mosaic Youth Theater Detroit, the Ann Arbor Art Center, the ARC. I mean, the whole range are members. Our role in that is to create a table for folks to come together and share and learn from one another, to make sure that folks outside of our sector know the ways that they can support our work and be part of it, and to, I think, always provide certain amounts of hope, inspiration, and encouragement to persevere.
COVID-19 has changed so much, and it has changed so much in the arts and culture community. And so you're going to be part of now an Arts and Creative Community Assistance Fund that is going to be starting. Tell us a little bit about that.
We are really excited to be partnering with the CultureSource, is really excited to be partnering with the Community Foundation for Southeast Michigan on the COVID-19 Arts and Creative Community Assistance Fund. It's a fund that has about 9 different charitable foundations in the region, or that are involved in the region, as well as some individuals. You know, it's looking to do research, get just really quality data about what the need is, what the opportunities are, as well as how audiences are feeling about their cultural participation. It's looking to provide support related to resiliency and relief, and also providing resources for innovation, knowing that where there is crisis, there's usually great opportunity. You know, the PPP program was aimed at getting quick relief, but you know, as there have been lots of reports in the nonprofit sector and certainly the arts and culture sector, it's been tricky for folks to connect to those monies. So it really is about, you know, helping folks with employees. You know, they want to keep their buildings, they want to stay in their leases, and this also provides them an opportunity to pay some of those bills. We'll take that information and with a committee of fund contributors, look at that and try to figure out where funding could be most impactful throughout the region.
Arts and culture really is an economic driver as well. And to be able to see it that way, the amount of jobs that it gives in our area and the amount of people that it's impacted when we're facing a pandemic like this.
Yeah, you know, Christy, many of our organizations are small businesses that, you know, employ lots of folks, that have daily transactions at cash registers, you know, that are paying vendors, you know, to come in and clean or provide marketing support. And these small businesses, just like many others, are absolutely, you know, shoulder to shoulder in need of support. You know, the Bureau of Economic Analysis just came out with new annual data that showed that the arts and culture sector nationally is 4.5% of GDP. And for context, you know, that makes it bigger than the construction industry, that makes it bigger than transportation. The opportunities to make sure that it's a sector that does not completely crumble are opportunities that really relate to just supporting our economy and just keeping it diverse and helping it rebound as quickly as possible. So, you know, one of my great hopes is that as people think about supporting their favorite retail store on a main street in their town, or as they think about, you know, restaurant workers, as they think about tech companies that they just want to keep innovating, I hope in those same breaths they'll think about these arts organizations that have powered the kind of soul of a community, that have really inspired community connection, that have provided real economic opportunity for people in our region. I hope they'll think about those as well and do what they can to support.
We'll check back in with Omari Rush when they start distributing those grants. For more information, you can just go to our website at onedetroitpbs.org.
Hey, I'm Alex Forer from Sterling Heights. I'm a professional photographer. I decided to take photos of Detroit and the metro area to kind of give people a moment to relax. The anxiety was just so high at work, the tension was so high that I knew that the next couple of weeks were probably going to be a little bit stressful if we all had to be stuck at home. And I was hoping that I could share a little bit of something beautiful in the middle of something so ugly. I had an opportunity to take pictures that I might not ever get to again. It was really weird to spend 4 hours on a Saturday just walking around and not come in contact with anybody. The only other people you see are police and security guards. I hope people are able to take a look and remind themselves that maybe tomorrow is not promised. Since art is so open to interpretation, no matter what medium, it gives everybody a moment to stop and think. Anything can happen. That's proven itself over the last few months. If there's an opportunity that you have now, it's probably the best time to seize it.
I was surfing through social media last week, like a lot of us are doing right now, and I stumbled across my friend Devin Skillion's Facebook page, and he was singing on it, which is not totally strange because while we know Devin Skillion as an anchor on Channel 4, he's also a fantastic musician. And he started singing a song a day on social media that he calls a quarantine interlude, and it's gained quite a cult following. Devin, give us a sense of what it's been like from the news perspective, from every day and kind of being a guiding voice through this when people are turning now to local news more than they ever have before.
We've done our best to try to keep the flow of information accurate timely, and balanced, and not run off with the newest idea or the newest fear or panic one way or the other. It was trying to be very sober and very balanced, and understanding that the information that we're giving people right now is the information that they need just to live their daily lives.
You're a touchstone for viewers to be able to tune in and say, okay, I know Devin, he's been here for a long time. And they also know you personally, I think, through everything that you do on social media. And I started seeing you come up with a quarantine interlude and taking your musical talents online as a little bit of a break for everyone, because we've talked so much about how music is healing for the soul right about now at a time where you feel like you can't count on much or control much.
Well, I know you believe that too about music, and it really is such an extraordinary salve in good times and bad. And I think that a lot of us who are musicians, and as you know, news is just temporary for me until music works out.
That's right. That's right. We're counting down the years.
Yeah. A lot of us who are musicians, it's the first place we run when we need to think things out, when we need to meditate on something. And so when I've got extra time, that's what I want to do, is sit down with the guitar or the piano anyway. And I one day thought, well, in fact, I was going to start it with, because I wanted to do a St. Patrick's Day song and a little Irish song. And I thought, I'll put this out. And the response was insane. And I realized, as Corey, I told Corey a couple of weeks ago, I finally figured out what it took for me to succeed in music. I need an audience that can't leave.
That's right. They're captive.
I never,
next song.
I never knew what captive audience meant until now. That's exactly right. But it's been really, really fun. And I've, a song a day right now. And the comments that I get every day are people who tell me that they wait all day until the new download, until the new one is posted.
What kinds of songs are you putting out there, and what are people saying about the different genres that you do?
I have very eclectic tastes, and I mean, most of my leanings tend to run toward country and folk music, but I also, have I love R&B, I love standards. There's not much music that I really don't love. I'm not doing a whole lot of hip hop so far, as you've maybe noticed.
That's terrible, Devin. We're gonna have to work on that one.
It's a gap in my resume, and it's been really gratifying the way that the people have responded.
So the one song that you're gonna play for us that you put out, you actually played on the ukulele. What song is that?
It's a song called "The Hold You've Got on Me" that I wrote for my wife Corey. This one has had many more views than a lot of the other ones, and I wrote it quite a while back for Corey, and it was a great excuse to get the ukulele back out.
What is it about music that is calming for people? Can you quite put your finger on it?
It soothes us, and I think that there's just something about a melody that just sort of puts our mind in a different kind of frame, and it's great escape for most of us. I think it takes us away. This is why music is so much more powerful than television or movies to me, is because we create the story that surrounds the song. We create our own experience when we listen to a song. We supply so much of the texture and the story and the visuals that go along with it. And so that's why songs mean so much to people, and they can mean very, very different things. And so that texture, I believe, is what makes music so powerful.
All right, so the quarantine interlude, where can we find it, Devin?
They're loaded every day onto my two Facebook pages, my personal one, which is open and public for everybody, and then there's a kind of a Channel 4 one. So just look for Devin Skillion on Facebook. Until the stay-at-home order is lifted, I'm committing to putting out one a day, so I can keep up that pace.
When you look at me with those sweet green eyes that always seem to hypnotize me, I surrender every time. Sound of your voice on my phone is sweeter than an ice cream cone, keeps me walking your line. Well, I don't know when I fell, but these chains are made of velvet, and I'd follow you anywhere. Oh, I don't need no one to save me. Oh, from all the love you gave me, and I don't want
Stories really have a way of sticking with us, and Detroiter Shannon Cason has honed the art of what he calls brutally honest storytelling. He has a podcast that has gained national attention called Homemade Stories. He reveals a lot about his life, and he encourages others to get out of their comfort zone as well.
Went to a local computer store, got me a mic, and started doing podcasts. My name is Shannon Cason, and I'm a storyteller. You ready to hear some stories from some people?
When Shannon Cason started recording his Homemade Stories podcast, he was on the front end of the boom.
You got a podcast? No, I saw somebody over here. Who else got a podcast? Anybody else?
It's a podcast festival in downtown Detroit. This is its second year.
It's what you're doing right now, which is coming together to listen to a whole bunch of really, really good audio stories.
As storytellers practice their art, for so many, podcasts have become their delivery system.
Yeah, it seemed a good crowd, too. Yeah. Good job, man. Great job. Yep.
One economic forecaster says next year, podcasting will be $1 billion industry. Cason's along for the ride.
I think as an artist, all artists are entrepreneurs in a whole bunch of ways. I've done 2 Kickstarters. I sell products and merch, sell books. So all those things, it just come in line with being an artist.
I was born in Sinai Hospital, right?
This night, Glynn Washington, host of the public radio Snap Judgment program and podcast, is Cason's featured guest.
It's wonderful, really, to see so many elements of Detroit storytelling come together. This is really one of the places where I think that storytelling, this whole new sort of art form is being created. And Shannon Cason's, he's one of the atlases holding things together.
Welcome to Homemade Stories 109. I've been telling people for a long time, I'm slow. I'm slow in all things. The way I talk, the way I walk. I have long strides. I'm 6'3". So it seems like I'm walking fast, but it's a steady gait. You like that word, gait? The stories that I tell are from my life, everyday life, and then some are more dramatic.
The casino was a 10-minute drive, Motor City Casino. This is in Detroit. The dealer deals the cards. I lose. And then I chase till I lose the whole $50,000.
And I had no creative aspirations at all. I just wanted to be a good operations manager at a plumbing wholesale warehouse in Flint. Then in Chicago with a decent salary. Then I got laid off. Then I went broke. Then my wife left me with my 3-month-old baby daughter. And I went to a bar to learn the old-fashioned art of becoming a drunk. And it happened to be a storytelling event.
Now Cason's encouraging others to step up to the mic.
Fine. I get out of the car and I'm like, how?
A call for some more brutally honest stories.
That's the whole thing about Shannon. All of us who are from here, we're protective of this place. And sometimes there's stories about this place that we don't necessarily want the rest of the world to know about. Shannon just says, forget all that noise. I'm gonna tell you what really happened. You can listen if you want, you can believe if you want, but I don't care. I'm just gonna tell you what happened to me.
I was just a 12-year-old kid growing up. I never did much wrong. I even got involved with the Boy Scouts of America. I got arrested going to my Boy Scout meeting. And I had $1, so I stopped at the corner store to get some Better Made Red Hot chips and a Faygo Peach, my favorite. But when you in that situation and when you with friends, we all looked at it as kind of funny. Now, I hate it when people talk bad about my neighborhood, but there was a drug raid going down at the corner store. One of the officers, huge guy, dressed like a Ninja Turtle, he asked me what you was doing out there. Like we had jokes about it. We would laugh about it at school the next day, you know. Like, man, you look so scared. And I know he saw my fear. I told him I was just going to my Boy Scout meeting. And he smacked me. I cried laughing after that happened. It's how you cope. Traumatic experiences, things happen, and in your eyes, is funny, but your brain is just trying to make you cope. Yeah, I was actually headed to Boy Scouts, and he smacked me again. So I'm not dumb. The next time I just told him what he wanted to hear. Sir, I was out there, and I was on the corner, and I was selling drugs. Then he didn't smack me anymore. You know, I'm not a big podcast. I do probably around 30,000 listens a month, which is a medium level podcast. It's enough to get sponsorships, and I'm able to keep going through that.
Feel free to, get ready.
Yeah, we're at WBEZ Studios. And Naila's gonna be coming in, and she's the one who, What's up? I use this studio for a new project I'm working on called In Good Company. In Good Company, I'm telling entrepreneurs' business stories in Detroit.
I got my first taste of entrepreneurship in elementary school.
I'm just getting that rich Detroit story.
I've been doing this 12 years. I just got on payroll about a year ago. So the first 11 years of this company, I was working for free. I wasn't taking home a check at all, and I was doing it gladly because it was a labor of love.
From the start.
Yeah.
You said that to yourself.
I didn't know it was going to take that long.
But I know at this point, I've been doing podcasting for close to 10 years now. And people are still listening, and I'm slow and steady, and I'm happy with that. We got something. I'm 44 now, but all those experiences I had in that, all that struggle, all that time, I just consider it raw materials for stories now. You know, I look at it as my little toolbox. My car went out today. I find a story about that. You know, my wife left me and took the kid and I lost all the money at the casino. I don't know.
And that is going to do it for One Detroit. Thanks so much for joining me. For our daily updates and all of our stories, you can go to onedetroitpbs.org. All right, we're going to leave you tonight getting to know 2018 Kresge Fellow Alex Way. She's a Detroiter. She started playing violin when she was 12 years old and then became a singer and a songwriter. Enjoy, and I'll see you on Thursday.
I never thought he'd notice me, 'cause around here he's a star. But then one day he noticed me and started a spark.
Growing up, my parents were very particular about what that music they let us listen to. And DRE was like probably one of the few R&B artists that they would let us listen to. And I remember one time we were in the car and I was singing along to the NDRE song. Like everybody stopped and turned around and looked at me in the back seat, and I was like, "What are you looking at?" And my brother was like, "You can actually sing." And I was like, "Okay, whatever." My whole family kind of already is into music. At our church, we had an orchestra every Sunday. And I knew I always wanted to play violin when I saw that. But before that, I was singing in choir, and we would sing in children's choir and sing pretty much every Sunday. I like writing about love a lot. All my teachers who taken the time to teach me, to give me all those extra lessons, that's love. Any musician who's worked with me, and even though I haven't been rolling in money to pay them, they've showed up for rehearsal, learned the music, that's love. My family, that's love. My friends, that's love. I think my whole life is a reflection of love. Things happen live, on stage, you vibe off with the other musicians, or you interactions with the audience. In studio and recording, you get to hear just the things that you're trying to record, and you get to hear it all in a tangible form.
Hang out, have fun, and start something beautiful. Something beautiful. We're both a little older now, moving on to bigger things now. He has his dreams, I have mine, and it turns out they both coincide. I never thought we'd make it this far, but here we are. He's my best friend, and I thank God for the day when he came to me and said, hello, what's up, hey.
You can find more at onedetroitpbs.org or subscribe to our social media channels and sign up for our One Detroit newsletter.
Support for this program provided by W.K. Kellogg Foundation, a partner with communities where children come first. The Cynthia and Etzel Ford Fund for Journalism at Detroit Public TV.
From Delta Faucets to Behr Paint, MASCO Corporation is proud to deliver products that enhance the way consumers all over the world experience and enjoy their living spaces. MASCO, serving Michigan communities since 1929. The DTE Foundation is a proud sponsor of Detroit Public TV, among the state's largest foundations committed to Michigan-focused giving. We support organizations that are doing exceptional work in our state. Visit dtefoundation.com to learn more.
Business Leaders for Michigan, dedicated to making Michigan a top 10 state for jobs, personal income, and a healthy economy. And thank you to these supporters. And viewers like you.